Welcome back to Dad's Wallet. Let's dive into the life of a 22-year-old making $32,000 a year. In this economy?
I would tell myself like, oh, if you don't make X amount every year, you're gonna be miserable, which is so not true. I'm making a lot less than 12-year-old me thought that I would need to be happy.
Making a lot less than you thought you need to be happy. That's so true for so many people. I mean, I see it on both sides, making more or less than you thought you needed. Let's see what more has.
I've come to realize that, you can make it work no matter how much money you make.
Like I said, $32,000 a year in the heartland, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's where my wife's from, and I mean, it's a growing city. It's going to be hard to live off $32,000. Let's see how it works.
I work as a canine rehabilitation assistant, and I've been working in that field for about 2 years. I get to help a lot of post-op surgical patients, any geriatric patients who suffer with arthritis, or just medically manage a lot of pain, chronic pain issues in dogs, cats, the occasional penguin.
Occasional penguin, that's cool. I mean, all right, this hits my heartstrings. I love it. I've got 2 dogs, both rescue dogs, and a pig at home, one of those domestic indoor pigs. I love someone taking care of animals like this.
I originally started school studying human physical therapy to be a human physical therapist assistant, and I came across a YouTube video, actually, that highlighted canine rehabilitation.
So interesting that generationally today, I mean, people's entire lives and careers are being brought on by YouTube videos. It's wild.
And I pretty quickly realized I kind of wanted to switch gears and focus on animals because I love animals so much. So I switched to veterinary technician school, and I am currently attending the Canine Rehab Institute to become certified as a canine rehabilitation nurse.
It's not unusual to switch streams if you feel like you're on a career path and you think you may want to change things up. It's okay. It's okay to do that. Just don't change every year. You won't have any progress. Oh man, so she's going to be working a lot. That certification process, it can be arduous. I've got a sister who's a vet, and it's a long process, but I mean, it's worth it in the long run.
I absolutely love my job, and that's why I feel fortunate to be able to do it, but I also want to make sure that I am like my best self. So I say all the time, I don't live to work, I work to live.
Don't live to work, you work to live. I mean, it's interesting. That's something that people keep saying these days, and I think that it's a catch-22. It may have a bad mindset about work itself. It's a good hustle. I mean, $500 now, that's something that is clearly something that's a good side hustle, and it's something she loves to do. I mean, everyone needs one of those.
I really just started those side hustles because they're fun. It was more of a hobby than anything else. Pretty quickly I realized, okay, I can make like 1 million bowls, but what am I really going to do with 1 million bowls? So I should probably start selling them.
That's great, because she could do that for the rest of her life. A lot of these side hustles that people are coming up with, they're not sustainable. Their burnout rate's so high. And I love this example.
My dad has been in the Air Force since he was 18 years old. Growing up, we moved around a ton. I've lived in lots of different states, and we kind of settled in Ohio around the time that I was in high school.
Yeah, that's a great example of not just, it shapes someone, and it definitely brings you closer to your family to move around a lot, but the work ethic to have someone in a military family, it shows with her.
I know that my parents were in debt for a little bit when I was young, so I saw the amount of stress that they had surrounding debt and credit cards and money in general, and I knew that I did not ever want to have to experience that.
I say it all the time, the greatest motivator for how you save and spend your money is going to be your parents and your context and your upbringing.
I had this paralyzing fear of being in debt from a ridiculously young age. If I could go back and, tell my younger self, like, hey, everything is going to be okay. You will make enough money, you're gonna get a good job.
I think it's good to really focus on how everything will be okay, and she's in a great position, but that anxiety, that's something to really unpack. It's something to work on.
I have been living on my own for the past 4 years. I feel like where I'm currently at, I am definitely able to support my needs and my lifestyle.
That's great. I mean, living on your own and only at $32,000, I assume there's at least 1 or 2 roommates in the mix, and it looks like she's right downtown in a good location.
I make roughly $2,200-ish a month.
Here we go, getting into the spending some here. It's gonna be interesting to unpack this because I see a lot of it's probably gonna be going towards rent, but let's see what else she's got.
My rent is $710 a month. My electric is roughly $35 a month, and then my Wi-Fi is about $22.
$1,200, like a third of her spending or more, almost half, is all wrapped up in this Colorado trip. Hopefully they address that because, man, travel can be such a burden.
Both my car insurance and my car payment I pay for completely on my own. Everything is in my name.
$8,600 on a car loan for the car that they showed in the picture. I mean, it seems like a large portion compared to her income.
Aside from my monthly expenses, I spend the most on food and coffee. I love getting coffee. It makes my day every time I go.
I think that's great. I mean, it's the markup is huge, so if it's going to be your indulgence, maybe make that your thing, but you're not going to have many other options after that.
I do budget myself a coffee budget every month. I try to keep it at like $80, which might be a lot for some people, but for me, it's reasonable.
Reasonable. I love the way she said that. She knows deep down inside that the 40 times multiple on coffee is huge, but if that's her thing, then it's in the budget. Go for it.
I also do pottery. I have a membership fee. It's about $65, and then my yoga membership as well is about $70.
I wonder if that $65 membership fee includes materials, because I know they can get expensive, all the stuff involved with pottery, but I mean, it's a life-giving thing. It's worth budgeting for.
So when I was going through technician school and human physical therapy school, the GI Bill I got from my dad paid for all of that. I was lucky enough to come out of traditional university without any student loans.
That's huge. I mean, you could tell that it's a liberating thing to come out without loans, no credit card debt. She's setting herself up for lifelong success. That's what we want to see for everyone.
I only have one credit card to help me when I need it and help boost my credit score. I usually pay it off once, maybe even twice a month, but one is good for now.
She's on her parents' health insurance, it's great because it's so expensive, and you can tell the dad's involved, getting that reimbursement there, and it's a good, healthy relationship.
This past August, I did go out to Colorado to work on my education. And I wasn't able to save as much money as I normally would.
I wonder how involved her education. It's good that it was a purposeful trip, but it was relatively expensive. It would just throw her budget out of whack. It's unfair.
Education as a whole is always going to be an investment, so definitely dipped into my savings a little bit, but I think it was worth it for what I'm going to gain out of it.
I couldn't agree more. To invest in yourself. When you're out there, you're going to go on a trip, to have it something that can pay dividends later on. That's a great way. It's a good investment. Honestly, to be able to go and all the way to Colorado, across the country, on $1,000 for a whole summer, she's had to have been living tight. I mean, it's not a bad way of doing it.
Schooling for the Canine Rehab Institute is roughly $7,000 to $8,000. My work paid for about half, and I had to cover the rest of it.
She'll be under contract for 2 years. That's not uncommon, but what I'm interested in is the difference between her current income and what her income will be after this certification.
I don't currently have any retirement funds set up. I definitely plan to set some up in the future. I think I would be more comfortable if I made a little bit more and I could save more.
It's too bad. I mean, she's investing in herself, which is great, and that's always the first priority. But that close second priority is going to be to start investing early in your retirement, because that time is what really makes it.
I think saving is very, very important. It's very important to set yourself up for success, but I wouldn't say that I'm like a super strict saver. I try and treat myself when I can, enjoy my life while I can, and then save whatever I have left over.
I mean, I'd say she's living frugally, and she's, got a budget. She's sticking to it. I mean, it's a good way to be. She's debt free, and that's the most important part. But, investing in yourself.
5 to 10 years from now, I would love it if I could still be, working with animals, doing rehabilitation in some capacity. I would also love to grow any sort of art business and add more of those artistic aspects to my life.
Interesting. I'd like to see her have a very purposeful approach to both of these streams of income in a way that, was really not just looking at her 5-year plan, but the people that are the most successful, they think in terms of decades, not years. And so, I'd really like to see her have a charted out plan for not just 1, 3, 5 years, but 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, because that's going to be the biggest impact long term for her. And if she had a plan like that, it's actually going to really shape her behaviors and her choices as she goes throughout her life, in the near term. And so, that's what we do with all of our clients. So, I think this is a great opportunity to really dive in. If you'd like to see another reaction video, I've got one queued up right here for you, as we're going to unpack some of the holiday treats that we experienced. And, if you're interested in any of this information, go ahead and click the link down below and sign up for our newsletter, because once a week I'm going to provide some information in your inbox that's going to help make family finances simple and easy for you to apply to your life.